I want to talk to you today about one of the issues in American life that is we're at a point of national crisis. And it feeds into what it is that we do here on this channel. We talk about anxiety and depression and how to live a better life, how to live a full life. One of the foundations for that is a good night's sleep. And I don't know if it's the number one problem in the United States, but it's up there in the top five that people have difficulty sleeping. And if that's you today, I want to talk about how to sleep. Okay, it's not that complicated, unless of course you're the person who's tossing and turning all night long, or you have difficulty going to sleep. Or going to sleep is fine, staying asleep for the night is good, but then you wake up too early. You want to sleep till 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 or 8 or 9, whatever shift you're on, 2 in the afternoon, whatever that is. But you're waking up way before you set your alarm for, and that you had your intentions of waking up for. So that's really what I want to talk to you about today. And a lot of it has to do with mindset. A lot of it has to do with what are our intentions, what are our worries, what are our sleep habits, and all of that goes into having a good night's or a good day's, if you're on a night shift, a good day's sleep. So we'll talk a little bit about sleep hygiene, but just sort of a background to sleep itself to begin with. It's a habit. We can learn new habits. Something it begins with a conscious intention, like when you're learning to tie your shoe. Remember when you just had those two laces and you couldn't figure it out, and then somebody told you about the rabbit around the tree and down through the hole and back out, and you kind of figured out how to do the bow tie. I saw a kid the other day tying his shoe, and he took the two, he crossed them, and then he created two bows and crossed those, pulled it tight, and there it was. I wish someone had taught me that trick back when I was struggling learning how to tie shoes. So I hope today that I can simplify for you the sleeping process. That it'll be sort of like, let's just take the two, twist it once, create some bows, twist it twice, and you have your shoe tied. You fall asleep. So there's like three areas that people have difficulty with sleeping. Either they can't fall asleep. It can be one, or it can be all of these. You have difficulty falling asleep. You have difficulty once you're asleep, that works, but then staying asleep during the night. And then waking up too early in the morning. All of those are habits. And somewhere along the way of your normal sleeping pattern, it got interrupted. And you may not know the cause. We don't need to know the cause. It's what we need to know is the cure. How do we fix that? How do we fix those habits that don't serve us any longer? Now, y'all knew how to sleep like babies because when we came into the world, that's where we were. And the problem with sleeping like a baby is it's sort of womb-like. It's like you're up and you're asleep. The child doesn't necessarily follow the pattern of the mother. So it's not like you're sleeping for 8 hours while your host parent is doing that. Children are up and down, awake and asleep at different times. So when we come out, we actually have to learn how to sleep. And if you know anybody who has a newborn, you know how tired they are because the child is up and down kind of throughout the night. And until and unless that child learns to stretch those sleeping, and it does, it stretches the sleeping out, and then suddenly the parents wake up one morning and they haven't been up 3 or 4 times that night. And the worry is, oh my goodness, what happened to the kid? Is my child okay? Because they didn't wake up. And there may be a few nights where the child sleeps and then it goes back into the pattern. It takes a little while, but we've all reached that point where we're able to sleep most of the night without waking up. We've all done it. We've all done difficult things. And it's important as you get ready to shift this habit into a good night's sleep habit that you remind yourself as you go to sleep. I've done difficult things, how to do difficult things. I could learn something new, and I'm learning how to sleep, and I'm going to sleep the whole night through. So start off with the positive intention, and then just like tying your shoes, it's now an unconscious habit. You and I could be talking, and we could tie our shoe at the same time. If you're old enough to drive a car and you're not just in the beginning stages, another example of how we went from conscious incompetence, where we didn't know what we were doing, but we kind of learned how to drive. And if you're old enough, you may still remember that there were stick shift or standard shifts where we had to start off in first gear and then put the clutch in, shift the second gear, put the clutch, take the clutch out without it, car hopping. Ask your parents about that. They can tell you about driving standard. And some of us who have sports cars still use standard transmission. So if that's you, then you know what I'm talking about. But that whole coordination of steering, stopping, starting, moving, maneuvering the car in traffic. When you first begin, it's a challenge. It feels overwhelming. And then you learn how to do it, and it just second nature to you. Same with sleeping. Trust me on this one. You can get to the point where sleeping for as long as you want can become second nature to you. We can learn new habits. The brain is a marvelous instrument we have here, this mechanism for taking things that are new and strange to us, over time, making them feel normal and natural. So we move from consciousness into a level of subconscious habit, and then it slips down into the sea of unconsciousness, where it's just one of those things that we do. And then Carl Jung talks about the collective unconscious. So when we're really asleep, the mind opens up, and our consciousness is in the collective, blending, exchanging ideas, all kinds of wonderful things happen. We'll talk about that in a later video on sleep. We're not really going to go into that today. But I wanted to mention this process of a habit, that's really what sleep is. Sleep is a habit that we need to develop if you're not sleeping well now. And then one of the other things that interrupts sleep is that people have dreams, that our brain is constantly processing and clearing out those neural pathways, like a little street sweeping process. And sometimes it generates the dreams, and we're processing different kinds of things. We're going to go into dreams and dream interpretation. Again, we'll try that in another video, not here. But generally, the pattern for the brain processing the day is last thing first, so that last thought at night lasts all night, and then it unwinds the day. Now, why is it doing that? Because remember, one of the key systems in our body is the limbic system, that reptilian part of the brain, way down here at the brainstem, that's all about keeping us safe, keeping us alive. And so, think back in the dinosaur days. Human beings, in order to stay alive, needed to review the day. Where were the points of danger? Where did I not recognize that there was a pterodactyl about ready to pick me up and feed me to its young? So the brain is processing the day. Did I miss anything? Did I lead myself into any points and places of danger? And so part of that dream process is just sort of processing it. And then how we interpret that, it could be anything, which is why we want good mental hygiene throughout the day. What kind of things are you looking at? What are the images that you're taking in? Is it safety? Is it comfort? Is it sleep? Is it relaxation? Or are you looking at horror type things and re-imaging or imagining movies that you've seen that scare you and frighten you? Maybe go on a diet with regard to that kind of stuff for a while. What sort of music do you listen to? Remember, we talked about water crystals in one of the videos. Don't take a look at it. that our body's 70% water. What sort of images is it absorbing? What is it taking in? What is it trying to process? Um, Same with the music. What are we listening to? So if you're having difficulty sleeping, may I suggest that some of the violence, some of the horror, some of the news of the day, go on a diet for that. Put that stuff away for a while and allow your brain to have more relaxed images of sleep, peace, safety, and just begin to feed yourself something different in preparation for sleeping. As you end the day, you're kind of winding down from whatever it's been, you're getting ready to sleep. It's kind of like a plane that's getting ready to take off. It doesn't just go from here to here in terms of sleep. We don't just jump from here into a good solid night's sleep. We need a little bit of a runway. We need to kind of take off into the sleep experience. So what are the things that we can do? Turn off all the electronic stuff. Get rid of the blue light. There's adjustments on the phone. I don't know if they're on the computers yet or not, where we can turn off that blue background light. Lets our brain quiet down, lets the eyes quiet down. It'd be great if you just turn that stuff off. Finish up earlier in the day and leave that stuff off. Listen to relaxing music. Turn down the stimulation of the television. Maybe half hour before you're ready to sleep, turn that off. Why? Because the visual part of the brain, very active. Both of our eyes on the front of our head. They're not off to the side. We don't have 360 degrees, some different creatures that are out here. We're pretty straight on, just like aimed right at it. So to calm that down, quiet down the stimulation that you're putting in and making the brain process. It's not that the eyes don't see, they just take it all and then send it to the brain and say, here, take these images, take this stuff, do something with it. So I want to quiet that visual cortex part of the brain down. Turn the lights down. Set a mood for sleep. Where you sleep, again, quiet, calm, dark, cool. Prepare for a good place to sleep. What's the mattress feel like? Are you comfortable on it? Do you like sitting up a little bit? Do you like lying down flat? Where is a comfortable position for you? Remember, at points where you lose consciousness, your body may want to shift and move. There are other times when the body is it's in like a deep hypnotic state, and the brain wave is very, very slow and calm. And it's almost like you can't move. Sometimes you've probably awakened at that point and you realize, I'm kind of paralyzed. I can't move anything, because that brain activity is calmed and quieted down. Your brain needs that. It needs to rest along with you physically. It needs to slow down that activity. That's normal and natural. Just let it do it. And it's better to be in that deep sleep so that you're at a level of where you're not conscious of that. And again, in another video, we'll talk more about how to change our states of consciousness. Self-hypnosis, wonderful tool. We'll add that to your repertoire of things that you can use to help you get a good night's sleep. If you're sleeping during the day, sometimes I talk to a lot of residents whose shifts are constantly changing, and fellows as well, but mostly the residents go through different shift changes so that they have to sleep during the day. It's important to have the shades that block out the light, as quiet as you can get. So there's some wonderful headsets and things that really block out the sound. So anything that you can do to quiet down all of our five senses pleasant tastes as you get ready to go to sleep. Brush your teeth, whatever it is, whatever kind of creates that for you. Some people a little sleep mask to block out the brightness of the day. So again, there's lots of different types of sleep aids. If you have any questions about that, put it in the comments. Ask the questions there. I'll get to those answers. Like the video, I hope. If you want more, again, in the comments, let me know. We'll go deeper into sleep issues. The channel, subscribe. We're going to cover all kinds of stuff. I'm going to do a basic video, and maybe it'll be on here already, of going to sleep. What to do to just consciously, intentionally get into that relaxed state in preparation for sleep. And we'll talk a little bit more about expectations during sleep so that you fall asleep, stay asleep, wake when you want to. Any other questions? Put them in the comments below. I love all those comments. I read them. I look at them. If you want to work with me, there's a way to be in touch with each other. Also down somewhere underneath this video. And I love the community that we're building here. It's just so great to be providing something, I hope, of help to us on our life's journey together. I mean, what else can we do? We're all walking each other home, right? Hey, have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you're just waking up, if you're beginning the day, somewhere in the day, if you're watching this in the middle of the night because you couldn't sleep, there's some ways to begin to shift that pattern, change that habit. My heart to yours. Thank you.